Hi, I'm Brendan Whitted, and welcome to another edition of Bison Break. I'm your host, and very, very excited to be talking with head coach of the softball team, Coach Tori Tyson. Welcome to Bison Break. I'm really, really excited to have you on.
Perfect. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I'm super excited because you guys are like right in the thick of it. So you making time right now, and really, really appreciate it. As always, guys, go to bisonexpress.org to donate to help teams out, like Coach Tyson's. Okay, well, before we get into all the the coaching and the minutia of this season and how great it's been, this is Bison Break. Got we gotta have a few, gotta relax a little bit, gotta get to know you a little bit. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. All right, first question: what song right now could you sing or spit and you would know all the words to it?
Tupac, Brenda's Got a Baby. That's easy. That's easy.
Came out from deep early. Like, that was light work. Okay. like you had it in the bag already. Okay. Much respect. Okay. All right. Number 2. As a youth, we're talking about high school, middle school. What's the most questionable style choice you were making back in the G? Because I was thinking about it for myself. Like, I had the tall tees. Everybody had tall tees. I'm not sure about that. But then I had the slightly smaller tall tee on top of that, so you could catch the little, make a little border outline. Then have the Air Force Ones as match, man. Like, those were a very hot time, because it was summertime in Raleigh, so it was ridiculous to be walking around like that.
I promise, and I never even hooped. I went through this weird phase of like high socks. I don't know it was kind of wild. Like, it was definitely a thing though. And it wasn't like I was doing it with like J's. Like, I was really just wearing them. Definitely, most definitely.
Yo, that is dope. I like how you were trying to bring that back, like by yourself, just like just
no reason.
1 on 5. I don't care. I'm still putting one up. But okay.
I'm talking about like the scrunchy ones, that would look dope. I'm talking about just straight.
Just the
straight ahead for no reason.
Was that just you? That was just you.
That's me. Like, nobody like put me on this. Like this.
Oh man, that is the best answer I think we may have ever gone to any icebreaker and Bison Break. So kudos. All right, last one. How would you fare in a zombie apocalypse? Like, if it's the movie, are you making it past the first credits? Are you a beloved character that dies at the end to save everybody, or are you in the sequel? Like, which
first one gone for sure. I'm dead. I don't there's like, in that situation, there's no survivor skills. I'm out of here. Like, you guys are wanting to see more of me. Like, man, I wish you would have. Like, they're not. I make it to when they put the title of like the movie, like anything. Like, I'm gone.
You Jada Pinkett and Scream. Like, you're about there early.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, that's what's up. Well, okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about softball now. But no, talk about a little bit about your journey, because it is very, very interesting. One of the things I really found interesting was you were the assistant coach for the Chicago Bandits in the National Pro Fast Pitch League in 2015. Tell me a little bit about that.
It was amazing. It completely just revived my spirit for the game, to just be around those kind of women. Stacey Newman was an Olympian, and she was the head coach, and Lauren Lappin was the assistant. And just to be around them, like, these are women that I grew up, like, I waited for Stacey's autograph after UCLA played Cal State Fullerton one year. So to just be sitting in the office talking the game and them asking me questions, I do think that, like, the best humans in the world, the best coaches, they ask enough questions. And so to be around Olympians and greats asking me questions completely changed the game for me. And just seeing how those women attacked their sport and their craft. And it wasn't like they had the pro league was amazing for what it was, but it's not some lavish lifestyle. And so to see them just have so much passion for it and still want to get better every day. Some of them were like 25, like, it was just really, really cool to be around. One of the best summers of my life.
Do you think that's influenced the way that you coach?
Absolutely. Just in a negative and a positive way, because when you're around that and those kind of athletes who take their craft so serious and they're so passionate, and you see what they're doing for the game, when you come back and you're coaching in college and like that passion isn't matched, and you know what the women above them are doing to like grow the game, you could take it kind of personal. But on the same token, that year specifically, it revived me, and like I wanted to champion all women to like, just be the best where their feet are, and to just again, like how they attack their day was just so admirable. So it definitely has impacted and will always impact the way I coach.
You were at University of Maryland at College Park as a pitching coach.
Yes.
And then you were hired as head coach in 2018.
Yes.
Talk to me about what difference is required of you as a pitching coach and now as a head coach, like the increase, I imagine, in responsibility.
Oh my goodness, it was such a transition, because I had been an assistant at a lot of places. When you're the assistant, you're the beloved, right? Like you're everything your head coach isn't. And they come to you for everything, and everybody loves you, and you also are the know-it-all. You know everything. Like I've had to apologize to a couple of head coaches. Like I had to be a very annoying assistant because you don't know what you don't know, and you're in a lot of rooms and a lot of meetings that you don't know. And so you think your idea makes the most sense and everything. And again, the dynamic with the players specifically is what changes, right? Because there's lines, and you can't, when I was just the pitching coach, like those were my babies. That was my area. So I used to take them to a dinner and like before season and a handwritten letter. I still write handwritten letters to all my players. So that hits different when you're writing like 25 plus letters opposed to your little area. But you have to be careful of all those interactions because you don't want it like favoritism or anything like that. So it changed immensely. And just the responsibilities, like I said, there's a lot of meetings that I wasn't in and thought that I knew what I needed to know, and you have no idea, and how hard you have to advocate for your sport, but you also have to produce. Like it's heavy. Especially coming to Howard, for this to be my head coaching job, it has been a blessing, but man, it's a different kind of work than it might be in a couple other routes, right, that I could have taken. So I am grateful. I don't regret it one day. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. But it definitely is a difference.
Well, talk about that first year as a head coach and talk a little bit, if you can, about where the program was when you took over.
Oh my goodness. So for reference, I always knew I wanted to go back to an HBCU, but being a single mom and a Black woman in a predominantly white sport, when I was at Bethune-Cookman, I didn't want there to be this stigma that I was there because like there was no other option. Because for a lot of Black coaches in softball specifically, I'm not speaking for any other sport, it's kind of status quo for a Black coach to be at an HBCU. And so despite how like we had a lot of success there, I wanted to go back to an HBCU after I proved to my peers and everyone else that I could do this at any level. I'm choosing to do this at an HBCU. And that hits different. That hits different when you're recruiting because your recruits know that, their families know that. And so it doesn't look like a step down. And so when I was at University of Maryland, it was a blessing. That's why I say Howard opened up at the best time, because I wanted to become a head coach before Skylar started school. Skylar's my 8-year-old now. I wanted to become a head coach, and I wanted to go back to an HBCU, and then the Mecca opens up. So it was like the right place. And then I didn't have to change anything about my life. We didn't have to move anything. That was like, you couldn't have written up any better. The toughest part was I had completed the bulk of the fall at the University of Maryland. So there were 13 freshmen on Howard's campus with no coach. And so their expectations of college are already skewed because it ain't a free for all. It ain't a like make your own schedule and live and party but that was their fall. There was upperclassmen trying to lead the charge. It was a program that hadn't experienced a lot of winning in the last couple years. And so then you bring in these freshmen that have no idea what to expect, and what they're currently doing isn't really realistic or attainable. It isn't attainable for your life to stay the same when you don't have a coach. So then I was after Halloween, I know that, and Howard starts their Christmas break relatively early from what I'm used to. And when you're not in season. So basically I had like 2 weeks to learn their names. It's raining. We don't have a facility. So our first practice, I remember I was like, I can't cancel on these girls. We literally just got on it, not Banneker softball field and not on the baseball field, literally in the grass area at Banneker in the outfield was our first practice. I threw down bases. I had to see what I had to see. And I just had them scrimmage. And it was insane. And I remember leaving for Christmas break, not even knowing all of their names. Like I had to like study their Instagrams, and some of them had me or my family. And then you come back again, no facility, it's freezing. So we were in low gym in everybody's way all the time, trying to just figure out a way to get 13 freshmen and some returners ready. And it was, to be honest, it was a lot of healing. And I do call it the honeymoon phase because I really couldn't coach or like change a culture, right? I had to get to know them. I had to give them the basic things to get a little bit competitive. And I had to really like, for the people who had been here, the returners, kind of relight their fire for softball and being competitive. And so it was little things like they didn't even match in the weight room, and like making that a requirement. Like you're going to match in the weight room, you're going to be in uniform. And before you knew it, like, we took a couple beatings, but they were so used to getting run ruled in preseason. So the fact that
what's the run, and explain what the run rule is.
Oh, a run rule is in softball, they'll shut the game down if you're losing by 8 runs after 5 innings. And so they hadn't had a win against a PWI. And I think when I took it, it was like over 5 years. And so I will never forget our first win against a PWI in a preseason. And they were walking different. They were moving different. We didn't have a winning record. And I still laugh at this senior class's day. They were running around here like we had a winning record just because they were in games. And that's what matters. There was a belief system. And again, I had to just keep feeding that, and just training the game, like aspects of the game that they simply hadn't been taught. But it was kind of cool because it was an immediate buy-in, because they knew they didn't know a lot of this stuff. So information is power. So we were supposed to not even make the tournament that year. And we ended up making the tournament. And I really truly believe is because they took this information and they ran with it, and it made them start believing in themselves. And we ended up being the last team standing on the North in the conference tournament. And our only 2 losses were to the 2 most seasoned teams at the tournament, which was FAMU and Bethune-Cookman.
So I'm going to praise you for a little bit. Hadn't made the postseason since 2015. Hadn't won in the postseason since 2011, and the most wins since 2012, and that was 19. I mean, I had to say it. I thought you was gonna say it. I tried to set you up for it, but don't worry, I got you. That's what I'm here for. Don't worry about it. So you had some like really some pretty immediate success, and when you start talking about like matching the weight room, it's even the small things that build on itself, right? That's kind of what you're talking about when you're talking about culture stuff.
Yeah. And it just how they communicated missing practice or missing anything, like just setting a bar. And that can be annoying and agitating. Imagine being 21 and being like, whoa, I never did this, right? Like, one of my favorite stories is with, her name was Lonzy. She was a senior, and I come in November, and that's my baby now, but she like disappeared. Like, whoa, this was a lot. Like, I'm trying to finish. And then she came back in April and ended up being a game changer for us. But again, like I imagine, right, going from that to like, I never had to match in the weight room, and being accountable for not matching. So it was different, and it was a change, but that group will always be special to me because they welcomed me with open arms. I had no head coaching experience to date. I had a decent resume, but still, like, they could have waited and had reservations. And Mackenzie still was a senior, and I want to credit her immensely, because she really took the lead in the buy-in. Mackenzie wanted to do whatever it was going to take to make the postseason. And she really stood on that. And I think she kept the balance, because it does matter, the conversations in the locker room. And Mackenzie was a focal point in that locker room and making sure people understood, like, this is what we need to do in order to get to the tournament.
Well, let's talk about this team. What makes this team? So you guys are 27 and 21, finished second in the MEAC. What is it about this team that you appreciate?
We're talented, and this, when you think about commitment levels, this team committed to me in a year. That following year, pre-COVID, we had only won three games, and so they had to believe in a vision. And so they're special to my heart because I told them that if you come and do your part, and these upperclassmen, Kalitas, Camille's, and all them, the Maxis, the Yayas, they keep trending forward, we can have a very special season. They had to believe that before they seen it, and they did. And this large freshman class has come here, and they've made an immediate impact, much like the senior class did when they came in. And so I think it's just, and we're finally playing our best softball. I always tell everybody, Howard plays their best softball in April. You cannot watch us in February or March, or you'll get it twisted. We do. I do think that it has a lot to do with our lack of resources. So then you start seeing us play better softball as we play more softball in better facilities, and we're on more fields, you know. I don't think that there's a secret to that. But this group is special in that, and that these seniors, like I said, this was the freshman group that welcomed me, and they have endured, and they have stayed strong. And it takes a lot of sacrifice to be a Howard softball player, period. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And they have stayed the course. They are excellent in the classroom. They're excellent on the field. And the standard is a standard that they had to live by and help build, because there wasn't one. And they've done an excellent job of that. I think everybody has a role, and we're at a point where everyone is accepting that role. This is a very, very special group.
It sounds like, I was just reading through some of the accolades. Kalita Dennis, all MEAC, MEAC Rookie of the Year. Zaria Simmons, she got recognized for all MEAC, and then you mentioned Camille Navarro, her as well. Like, so those, I mean, that's a large percentage of your roster that is, you know, achieving the sort of accolades for the entire community. So you mentioned the postseason. Postseason's from May 11th to the 14th, which is why, as we're doing this right now, she is getting things together. So again, thank you. Tell me what you're looking forward to, and tell me a little bit about what you expect maybe from your team.
It's our first time back since that the year we went was at 2018. And so our seniors haven't been there since they were freshmen. And I just, for me, it's beyond the coaching. At that point now, it is on me to manage. And that's exactly what I did that first year. Is I'm excited to just watch them compete in that environment. And you find out who's who, right? Like, the tournament's about guts, and who's going to have enough guts to get you through those couple of days. It's always fun for me as a coach to get to sit back and watch that. And I can't wait to just fangirl them and watch that and manage what I can manage. I'm waiting. Like, the thing is you don't know who's gonna be your top performers. I know that I got enough athletes on this team to be a top performers. I feel like there's a couple people peaking that people aren't gonna be prepared for, because they didn't really do a lot during the regular season, and now we're starting to see them shine, like our freshman Sydney Fletcher. I am excited for a lot, and I am excited for our pitchers. At the end of the day, we've led the conference in offense since I've been here. Our pitching and defense is where we've always needed to bridge the gap. So I'm excited to see who rises. I'm excited to see that come to life. I'm excited to see our seniors lead, because again, I got some hard-nosed freshmen, very opinionated, kind of the assistant coach that I was. And our seniors, they know what it feels like to be there. So I'm excited to see them lead and help control those emotions. So yeah, I'm just excited to be a fan, man.
May 11th through the 14th. It's not being carried on any traditional streaming service, but there might be an opportunity to stream, and the link would be on @HU Bison Softball. For Twitter. So you should be, if there is a possibility of that, it should be on that. That's the Twitter account it should be from.
Yes, that's the plan.
Thank you so much, Coach Tyson. Coach Tyson said it better than I could. Hey, go to bisonexpress.org, give money, help people like Coach Tyson and the rest of our athletic department rise to the potential that we all know that they have. Help them do that. And we're also raising money. There's a special caveat to raise money for the vans to get athletes to and from these competitions. Please do that. Again, Coach Tyson, thank you so very much. And I look forward to speaking with you again.
Of course. Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.